For the people for the parks and trails, Aaron Dimmick. Hi, Aaron.
Hello, Bart.
Welcome back.
We're getting ready for our own spooktacular.
Yeah, you've got a series of cleanups that you have had throughout the year, but with Halloween coming up this weekend, you've got a Halloween-themed cleanup adventure.
That's right. It's our second annual cleanup of Mount Evergreen Cemetery. So this is how we capped off our season last year, which was our first season. And then we thought it'd be really good to bring this event back this year to cap off the end of our official volunteer season.
Aaron is a co-founder and president of the PPT group, and it's fueled entirely by donations and volunteers. You had a fundraiser earlier this year. How'd that go?
Yeah, we had two different fundraisers. One was just kind of an online campaign, which was Christmas in July, and that was to fund our light efforts that are coming up here, which we're going to get going in November and December. So the funds raised there are going to go to installing lights in 5 public parks here in Jackson for the holiday season. So that resulted in me dressing up as Santa Claus and going down the slide at Nixon Water Park because I made our goal. So that was just one of our fundraisers. We were really happy about that.
I thought it was Santa.
Oh, I'm sorry. I hope there are no children or young at heart watching.
It was Santa.
I'm a Santa representative for the big guy himself. And then our other fundraiser was a mini golf outing. So you've heard of golf outings. You know, there's lots of them, but there's not too many mini golf outings. So that was really great. We did a fundraiser at the Ellis Sharp Park miniature golf course and raised some funds there. So a lot of it just goes to support our organization and helps us as we work towards providing improvements for our public parks.
Nice. And the organization is only in its second year.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of accomplishments in a short time and during COVID.
Yeah, definitely. And what was great is, you know, through 2021 and obviously through 2022, we're still living with the impacts of the pandemic. So what's really great about our volunteer events and our fundraisers is that they're 100% outside. And then whenever we do have a group meeting, we can do it on Zoom. So it was really important for us as we got started that these would be safe events that would be approachable for everyone. So it's really great that all of these events can be outside.
Yeah, and this weekend, it's what you hope to be a new tradition.
Yes.
Started it last year, continues, and going forward every Halloween.
Yeah, this is one of our biggest events I think we do every year. Last year we had probably about almost 20 people come out. And what we do is we get everyone, so we want people to meet at the front entrance of the cemetery at Greenwood and Morrell, and then we will tell spooky stories of people buried there. And our city historian, Linda Haas, has provided me with some spooky stories of people who are buried in the cemetery. And then we go about cleaning up the park. So we do things like picking up trash and helping city crews with leaf removal and picking up sticks. And those are really the main tasks. So it's just a fun activity for people of various skill levels, ability levels to come out and just have a little bit of Halloween fun, but then also help improve the community at the same time.
And it really is a beautiful cemetery. It's actually, it's on a very high area in downtown Jackson.
Yeah.
It's true, it is Mount Evergreen.
Right.
A lot of beautiful trees and winding paths, and it's pretty big. Are you going to be able to get throughout the whole thing?
We think so. We had volunteers really get through the entire cemetery last year, right before we wrapped up. So we're going to find a way to keep eyes on everyone just to make sure we don't lose anyone because it is such a big cemetery. A lot of people don't realize that when you're driving by on Greenwood, just how vast it is. So even if you're just curious about the cemetery, it's good just to, you know, come by, have some coffee and donuts and just walk about.
Now, certainly I would hope that it's not one of our parks that gets trash dumped or vandalism, but unfortunately, there has been evidence of that in past years.
Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of our public parks and cemeteries are vulnerable spaces. We don't have eyes on them 24/7. So, you know, people will go by and throw trash. A lot of the trash actually blows in from maybe the neighborhood, or there's a lot of trash that comes in along the fence line along Greenwood and Morrell. So there's a fair amount of trash. But really kind of the big challenge is removing these branches and sticks that have fallen over the years. So that'll really help our parks crews out when they go to mow the grass. Also, of course, we have people buried there and people want to visit the grave sites. We have people from yesteryear where we're still continuing to see burials there as well. So not only are we improving the space for the entire community, we're improving the space for the people who have loved ones buried there.
All right, so you say you've got some good stories. Can you share maybe a little bit of one with us today?
Oh, well, I really should have reviewed my notes.
Right.
But a little taste of one is there was a fellow who was found to have murdered his entire family. And I think he was very cunning and dastardly, and he was able to convince people he didn't do it, but he definitely did it. I think he poisoned a parent, murdered another somehow. It's a really fascinating story. He's buried there, and he's buried with his family.
Oh, wow.
So when you're walking around, look out for him.
Poisoning was a very common form of murder because there was not the science to detect it back in the day.
And there's poison just everywhere.
Yeah, things you didn't even know were poison.
Yep.
Were you surprised by anything you found or heard from Linda?
History is all around us, and it's just kind of a matter of looking and being curious. So, not to say that everyone who's buried there has a grim story. A lot of Jackson's early residents of the city of Jackson are buried there. We also have Emma Nichols, who's buried there. She is a person who escaped slavery in the South and came up and found freedom in Jackson. So she's buried there. So, there's a wide variety of history in the cemetery. It's actually listed on a lot of different things. It's considered recognized by the federal government as being a historically significant site, and by the state just because of a lot of people buried there are so significant to Jackson's history and specifically to the Underground Railroad. So there's a lot of great history there, just beyond the spooky things as well.
All right, it's going to be a busy week for Aaron because he is one of the men who cook.
That's right.
Now, I think you took a year or two off. You were in one a few years ago.
2019 was my last appearance.
And so what are you planning to make this year?
Going to be making some chili, and if I have time, cornbread.
Okay. Is that what you made chili last time?
Yep, I made chili last time. It was a big hit. So I guess I've been perfecting it for the past 2-3 years. And then if I get around to it, hoping to make a couple batches of cornbread, and it's going to be gluten-free.
That's right, because Aaron started a YouTube series.
Yep.
The Baker, what was it called?
The Slapdash Cook.
The Slapdash Cook,
Yep.
and it was mostly baking, right?
No, it was mostly kind of casseroles. It was one of my pandemic hobbies.
But during the series, Aaron discovered he was gluten intolerant.
Right.
So
that kind of put a hitch in my giddy up as far as cooking goes, but I've been able to figure it out. And, thankfully, it's a relatively easy thing to handle. You just don't eat things that contain wheat. So.
All right, so enjoy chili and gluten-free cornbread and so much more. The Men Who Cook this Thursday at the Commonwealth Commerce Center. Tickets are still available. You can buy them for $35. It's a bargain because you can easily eat $80, $90 worth of food.
That's a good way to look at it.
All right, if you want to be part of the cleanup at Mount Evergreen Cemetery, do people need to sign up in advance?
Nope, for our events, it's just a matter of showing up and getting to work. You don't have to be a City of Jackson resident. You don't even have to be a Jackson County resident. Anyone who wants to come out and help out, we want to put you to work. And, whatever your activity level is, we welcome that as well. Anyone who wants to come out, we appreciate. So, yep, it's on Saturday, this upcoming Saturday, October 29th. And we're starting at 10 a.m. at the main entrance, which is at Greenwood and Morrell. And then we'll probably be getting going there for about 90 minutes.
Awesome. Well, thanks for doing that, and thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
The co-founder and president of People for the Parks and Trails of Jackson, Aaron Dimick.